What's going on, YouTube? Today I'm going to be making a video showing you what I would do if I was a new Prestige trying to get back up to get some my Tier 1 and even Tier 2 gear again. Because you all know when you hit that Prestige button, or maybe you don't know if you're trying to avoid hitting that Prestige button, it's a very difficult transition to go from having all your Tier 3 gear to suddenly having nothing at all. And the biggest difficulty with that is that you don't have any defensive equipment when you first start out for this fresh level. So you're not going to have any crucifixes, you're not going to have an igniter that doesn't take up an inventory spot, and you're not going to have an incense either. In fact, all of those things aren't going to unlock fully until you hit level 14 and finally get your incense. So when that happens, the game changes big time for you because you have that ability to cleanse and repel the ghost to try to survive no matter what difficulty you're doing. Now, the big difference is between being a brand new player and being a first-time Prestiger is that you get to keep your custom difficulty in all the maps you've unlocked previously. So when you hit that Prestige button, you don't lose custom difficulties, and you don't have to unlock maps again. That's a good thing. So you can create a custom difficulty to get yourself ready, to try to get a lot of levels in XP again, to get you back up to that point where you have an incense. Now, the first thing I would recommend doing if you're a new Prestige is try to Prestige right before a new weekly challenge resets. And if you don't know, a new weekly challenge resets every single Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And the great thing about those is when you do a weekly challenge, they give you all the gear for you. You don't have to put any money up front. So that when you finish it and you have those 3 challenges completed, you're going to get $5,000 and 5,000 XP, possibly as a brand new level 1. That's going to be a bit of a boost right there, giving you a nice start. Now, I know a lot of people in the Phasmophobia community do suggest and recommend that if you're trying to grind XP, whether you're a brand new Prestige or you're just looking to grind levels in general, to go on Woodwind and do some looping strategies to try to identify ghosts on 12 times or higher multipliers that are custom difficulties. That is an option and it's very valid. But I never like to do that because for me, I got so burnt out on Woodwind after a while that it kind of took out a lot of the fun of the game. So the multiplier that I'm going to show you and what I do is going to be applicable on any map, so that way you can keep the game fresh and fun, and you can play the maps that you love. Let's get into the difficulty here. So the custom, that is going to be a 9.3 multiplier, and you can make this a little bit higher if you want to, and I'll show what settings you can change to make it a little bit harder if you feel comfortable doing so. So the sanity drain is going to be as high as possible, and you're not going to have any sanity. So by all intents and purposes, this is a 0 sanity run. And you're going to have sprinting and you're going to have normal player speed. So don't worry, you're not going to have to suffer through a slower player speed. You're going to be able to move as normal. So if you want to use this to try to practice looping, or if you're trying to get to a hiding spot, you're going to be able to get there at a normal speed. Flashlights are going to start on, so if you have to use a flashlight during a hunt to see the ghost's blinking patterns, to rule out Oni or Phantom or something of that nature, you can use a flashlight. And obviously lose items and consumables has to be on if you want to get any money or XP at all. Moving on over to the Ghost tab, Ghost speed is going to be normal. That way, if you're a newer player to Phasmophobia and this may be your first Prestige and you have no idea what 150% Ghost speed sounds like or how to identify ghosts with 0 evidence for 150% Ghost speed, you're not going to have to worry about that. If you're familiar with 150% Ghost speed, by all means, turn this up if you'd like to. But if you're a newer player, chances are you're not going to want to do that. Roaming frequency, changing favorite rooms, all going to be high to give you your max multiplier possible. Activity level is going to be low. Event frequency is going to be low as well. Remember, if you're a new Prestige, you're more than likely not going to have a lot of gear, so the chance of trying to get good media is not going to be possible early on. And then for friendly ghosts, obviously going to be off if you want to make any money at all. If you turn this on, you can't get any reward. Grace period is 2 seconds. Now, this is one of the main difficulties you can change depending on your skill level to make it harder or easier. Now, 2-second grace period for me, it's very generous. Now, grace period means the moment the ghost hunts, the door slams at the front door and it locks. You're going to hear the ghost making some hunting sounds, but if it has a 2-second grace period, it makes hunting sounds for 2 full seconds before it actually manifests to try to find you during a hunt. So that means that if the ghost is going to spawn on top of you during a hunt, you have 2 full seconds to get out of the way and get to a hiding spot to survive. That's a very generous amount of time. Now, I would say 1 second may be a little too low, especially if you don't have an incense or a crucifix, and 0 grace period may be a little unrealistic as well, especially without any defensive item. So, I would say that keeping it at 2 seconds is going to be good if you're a brand new Prestige. Like I said, you can change it to whatever you want it to be, whatever is good for your skill level. Hunt duration is high, that way you have plenty of time to be able to observe the ghost sounds, its activity level, everything to try to determine what the ghost is, because this is a zero evidence run. So this is going to be putting to the test your knowledge of ghost abilities and how to identify them on zero evidence. But don't get scared yet, because the big thing that's bringing down this multiplier substantially is coming, and that is the fact that the hiding spots here are very high. So every hiding spot you could possibly want on any map that you want to do will be available. So my idea here is to get to the map of your choice, run to a hiding spot, and stay there and listen to the ghost. And if you want to come out of your hiding spot to try to observe the ghost, you could do that as well. If you want to loop a little bit and then go into a hiding spot, you can. You'll have a lot of opportunities to survive no matter what map you do it on. So that's great, because if you don't have any defensive items with the new prestige, that is going to save your life. Setup time is 0. Weather is heavy rain to give you the highest multiplier. If you want to change this to something else, you're more than welcome to do so. Door starting open is high. Sanity and activity monitor is off because you don't have any sanity to monitor. And activity board, to be honest, it really isn't that much of a game changer. And then fuse box starts off. You want to turn that on, you just got to find the fuse box yourself in between hunts and try to go turn it on. So if you want to wait for a hunt to end and then go turn the fuse box and go back to your hiding spot, that would be the way to do it. All right, let's get in there and get started. So this is a 9.3 multiplier, and it would give you your Bronze Apocalypse badge if you did it on Sunny Meadows. So I'm going to start this off and do it on a map that everybody knows very well, Tanglewood. We're just going to go into Tanglewood and we'll try to get this accomplished, and I'll show you what my methodology is to get around completed. So here we are in Tanglewood, and as you can see from my loadout, I'm putting myself in the perspective of a brand new Prestige player. With starter equipment, all tier 1, I don't have anything to my name. Now, the only piece of media equipment that you have is a video camera. If you want to try to get a couple unique video opportunities, by all means, go for it. If you don't want to try to chance it and try to chance your luck and lose some money that you don't really have at a new Prestige, risk factor to try to lose the money that you barely have, then don't do it. Try to live. Living is the most important thing. I'm going to grab the video camera. I'm going to grab the flashlight, and honestly, that's probably going to be it. If I wanted to grab something else, maybe I would grab the UV, so that way I could throw an electronic item down to see if it's going to be Raiju speed up around it. Let's get inside. Now, since this is going to be 2-second grace period with all of my hiding spots available, I want to make sure I get to a hiding spot as quickly as possible. That way I can stay there, turn off all my electronics, make sure I don't make any noise out of my microphone because the ghost will know where you are then, and just try to listen to the ghost sound. How fast is it? Is it slow? Does it have a lot of interactivity? It sound like it's throwing a lot of stuff for poltergeist. Does it sound like it's randomly speeding up every now and then? All those things do matter. And if you have to come outside of your hiding spot to try to observe the ghost, you can do that, loop a little bit. I'll show you my little loop pattern that has very limited risk factor at all, and try to do that. So let's do it. Here we go. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Now the first hiding spot on Tangle is right here in this closet, so I'm going to turn off my flashlight, and I'm just going to chill. It's already hunting because it's 0 sanity. And that's a very slow ghost. Taking like 1 footstep a second, and I guarantee if I let it know where I was, it would speed up to me at 3 meters a second during the hunt, which would mean that it's going to be Revenant or mimicking a Revenant. So that is this game completed. Now, obviously, this is a very simple ghost to get, and some of them aren't going to be as simple as this, but this is just one example of what could happen to get you a lot of easy experience. Look at that, we got a bone. I'm going to pick up that bone to give me some extra XP, because why not? And we're just going to get the heck out of here. We're going to take our money and run, as they said. Now, again, you have very limited equipment as a new Prestige, so trying to get a lot of objectives completed is not ideal. So don't worry about that so much. Worry about getting the ghost crack, because you're on a 9.3 multiplier. Getting the ghost is what really matters. As for what you can and cannot test for with limited gear, this is what I would say. If it's going to be a spirit, it's not testable, especially if you don't have an incense unlocked yet, which unlocks at level 14, because the only way to test for a spirit is to cleanse it or repel it, and to see if it takes 3 full minutes for it to hunt again. So that would not be testable. If you had Wraith and you don't have any salts, it could be difficult to test for, but not impossible. You can take an EMF reader and see if you get a random EMF reading when the ghost touches nothing around you whatsoever. That could give you an indication that the ghost has done a random Wraith teleportation ability to your location. If you had a demon It would be difficult again because you cannot do the cleanse or repel timer. But a demon is the only ghost that can hunt every 20 seconds instead of every 25 seconds inside of sanity threshold when it hasn't been repelled or cleansed. So that is something you can look for if you have a timer. And lastly, Onryo. Onryo, if you don't have any tier of firelight, would be impossible to test for because you need to have some source of firelight in order to test for an Onryo. But one thing to keep in mind is if you ever see a ghost light a candle or a fire source on its own, that it's not going to be that Onryo. So you can eliminate Onryo if you ever see that happen. Thankfully, though, a firelight does unlock at a relatively early level, so it won't be too long that you won't be able to test for this ghost. So let's lock in Revenant and get out of here. We'll do another one of these rounds just to show you how much experience you can get. Revenants, and we got 1,985 experience for that round. Now, if you've done your weekly challenge for the week and you're at a brand new prestige, you got that 5K experience plus now 1,985. And if you were able to get any sort of media or any other objectives completed, if you have good objectives, that's an additional bonus as well. You would have more money just from that alone. And at the earlier levels, this is definitely a decent amount of experience. This can get you somewhere and start unlocking some of those earlier pieces of equipment for you. Now let's do another one. Let's go back to Tanglewood and do another one again. Back in Tanglewood again, and we're going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to take in the video camera, I'm going to take in the flashlight, I'm going to take an EMF reader in as well. Be able to check for that potential ray teleportation. Go to the front door. Get ready to run right into that closet hiding spot. We're going in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Turn off my electronics so it doesn't know where I am during the hunt. Let's wait and see which way it comes from. And again, I always preach this, and it's the truth. A good quality headset comes in handy because you can hear directionally where the ghost is coming from. Your left, your right, front, back, etc. Directional hearing in Phasmophobia is extremely important. Another thing you can do as well when you're hiding in these closet spots like this is you can hold the closet, and when you go to bring it into your player, don't let go of the closet door. Hold it. And basically hold it like you're trying to drag it into your player. Because what that's going to do is it's going to close the door. This works on closets, this works on lockers. And when the ghost walks by and tries to open it, it won't be able to. Ghost is hunting. There are a couple throw objects. Definitely normal speed. It's not fast and it's not slow. So since it's not fast and slow, we're going to say no Young Fang, no Moroi with 0 sanity, no Deojin because they always know where we are, no fast or slow twin, no Hantu because it's a little bit colder in here. We don't have the breaker on and it's raining outside, so it would be a little cold, especially inside the ghost room. The last round we did, we had the Revenant, so we heard how slow that was when the ghost didn't know where we were. And it's definitely not that. So that's what we know so far. Now let's get out of this hiding spot and try to observe the ghost now. Now, I think that might have come from the garage, or it may have come right here from the kitchen. I'm not sure which. We're just going to be very, very aware. Do we have... Yep, we got breaker here. Let's turn breaker on. I think I saw my breath when I walked into the garage, which means it's 5 degrees Celsius or less in there. So I'm going to say it's probably going to be a garage ghost. Keep that EMF reader right there. And we're going to have our electronics on for this hunt, too, so we're going to know if it's a Raiju. If it speeds up from active electronics being around, we'll say it's Raiju. And we have the breaker on now, so the Jinn can actually do its speed boost ability. So if it sees us from 3 meters or more away, and it goes from a normal speed ghost to a fast ghost in an instant from seeing us, from that distance, it's a Jinn. Ghost is hunting. It's not speeding up electronics. It's not Raiju. And here we go. Here it is. It's not throwing a lot of stuff, so it's definitely not Polter. And it's getting faster the longer it sees us, so it's not a ghost that doesn't have line of sight speed. So it didn't disappear with its blinking patterns, where it disappears and reappears during the hunt over and over again for 2 seconds at a time. So it's not a phantom. It wasn't a very visible ghost either, where it maintains that physical form for a long time as it hunts, so it's not owning. Didn't do any shapeshift to a different ghost model mid-hunt, so it's not Obaki shapeshift. Didn't speed up from active electronics, so it's not a Raiju. And it didn't get that Jinn speed boost from 3 meters or more away, so no Jinn. And since we can see in here that it didn't really throw that much stuff and it didn't throw it very far, we could probably say it's not going to be a Polter. A Polter could throw something every half of a second during an active hunt. That's 2 objects every second. Now, this ghost seems a little quiet to me. I'm wondering if it's going to be Mylan. And if you can see what I'm doing right now, I'm crouching below this countertop. And what that does is it makes it so the ghost can't see you below it. So make sure you take advantage of that. This is called crouch looping. The ghost wouldn't be able to gain line of sight on me down here. And it doesn't know that I'm here because I don't have my flashlight on and I don't have open microphone on. So it's just kind of lost right now. And I can observe the ghost because the lights are on and everything, but it doesn't know I'm here. The ghost is activating the car, unfortunately. I don't have the keys to turn it off right now. So what I'm going to do on this next hunt, since I think it might be a little quiet ghost, is I'm going to do a miling test. And the way I like to do miling tests is I use my flashlight here. The flashlight is on, as you can see. When the ghost is getting close to you during an active hunt, you start seeing your flashlight start to blink. So the reason the flashlight's electronic disturbance even matters is because it gives you a sense of how far the ghost is away from you. And with a miling, you have to determine, can I hear the ghost's footsteps from far away? So if you're able to hear the ghost's footsteps before your flashlight starts getting that electronic disturbance and starts blinking, it is not a miling. But if you can only hear the ghost's footsteps when your flashlight starts blinking and the ghost is that close to you, that means you do have a miling. So I hope that makes sense. It's the easiest way to test for miling in Phasmophobia. I can't hear footsteps. It's hunting though. I hear nothing. Starting to hear them now, and the flashlight just started blinking. I mean, heck, it was almost in the same room as me when I started to hear it. So that's definitely going to be miling footstep. So now we're crouching around, and we're doing some crouch looping, and it's gone. Notice I turned my flashlight off, and the moment I turned my flashlight off, it didn't know where I went, and it's gone. So we have another successful ghost here. Locking in miling and going back to the van. And since I was able to do some crouch looping and allow the ghost to see me, I was able to get one optional objective completed. So we got miling, we're locking it up and getting on out of here. Another successful round and some more XP to get us some more gear. Miling, let's freaking go. That gave us a total of 2,325 experience. Now imagine too, if you haven't done your daily or your weekly task yet, if you can do those while you're doing these rounds, that's even more XP for you. This really does work. And like I said, having that all the hiding spots available and having that 2-second grace period to get away during the beginning of a hunt, it gives you an opportunity to have very minimal risk, but have a lot of reward. And this is a great opportunity to test your knowledge of ghosts. And if you get it wrong, you know what? You don't have any money or XP to begin with. And if you get it right, you learn something and you're going to get some XP because of it. So it's not a big deal if you get it wrong. As long as you make it out alive, you're not losing anything. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this strategy and if it's something you would like to test out in your own gameplay when you prestige. I truly do think prestiging in Phasmophobia is worth it. I get that question all the time. Bro Tater Chip, would you recommend that I prestige in Phasmophobia? I think the answer is yes, because prestiging does give you an additional sort of challenge inside of Phasmophobia. And one of the reasons people get so bored of the game so quickly is because they don't try to challenge themselves. They don't up the difficulty. They don't try to lose all their equipment, their money, to try to get some ID badges and some achievements and try to reset themselves. And that's really what this is it's an opportunity to put yourself in a scenario where you're outside of your comfort zone and try to make you work for something again. So it's giving you a task to do. And I think, the least for me, I wish I could still prestige. I'm prestige 20. I can't prestige anymore even if I wanted to. And believe me, I do want to. Like I said, let me know down in the comment section below what you think. I hope this helps you out. If you have any questions at all, I'm definitely here to be able to assist. Until I see you all next time, I hope you have some wonderful ghost hunts. And more importantly than anything else, stay crispy.